Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Ron Placone and Steph Zamorano, the miserable liberal. Look at the T-shirt Steph has on.
What a cool T-shirt.
Thanks, Ron.
Look, that is a great image. Show it a little closer to the camera. Look at that. That's me shouting my head off into a megaphone. You can get that right below. There's a link for Spreadshirt.com. Go get one of those T-shirts. You could also pick up a Jimmy Dore Show mug. There's plenty of stuff over there. So why do I tell you this? Because it's a great way to help support the show. And you get some cool stuff out of it because they're demonetizing our videos like crazy. All right. Bernie Sanders tweeted, the mainstream news media, it's amazing to me. You cannot be discredited if you are doing the bidding of the establishment. Look at Brian Williams. That he's got his job back. He didn't. So here, Bernie Sanders tweeted this out. By pardoning Sheriff Arpaio, President Trump has once again made clear where he stands on the side of racism and discrimination. Then a writer for the New York Times, Maggie Haberman, tweeted out, worth recalling that Jane Sanders appeared with Arpaio once and toured his tent jail. What? Yeah, she was there on a fact-finding thing. And when Arpaio showed up, she gave him the business. I asked about racial profiling, papers, please, and deputizing civilians to round up undocumented people. He declined to answer. That's what Jane Sanders was doing. Can you believe that happened? Can you believe she tweeted that out? What the? And by the way, she's worked at the New York Times. She'll be invited on every news show in the world, and no one will ever mention this, that's disgusting. She did something disgusting.
Can I believe it? Yes. Is it gross? Yes.
Yes. So, and let's remember who Maggie Haberman is. Let's remember who she is. This is from WikiLeaks. The Clinton campaign wrote this about Maggie Haberman. We have a very good relationship with Maggie Haberman of Politico over the last year. We have had her tee up stories for us before and have never been disappointed. That's a journalist. It says, while we should have a larger conversation in the near future about a broader strategy for re-engaging the beat press that covers Hillary Rodham Clinton, for this, we think we can achieve our objective and do the most shaping by going to Maggie. And she's not, other reporters don't kick her out. They don't know, but nothing happens. There's no repercussion. Did she get fired by the New York Times? No, they get hired by the New York Times after this. No one loses their job for getting caught being in collusion with politicians. No one. That's kind of gross, no? This is pretty gross. Doesn't get much more gross than that.
Why are you going out of your way to make me think that Jane Sanders is supporting Arpaio? Why are you doing that?
Why? Because that's what the establishment does. You smear progressives any way possible. The most underhanded, despicable, disgusting way to smear someone. There it is. New York Times. No consequences. In fact, she'll probably get a raise. Hey, you smeared a progressive. Good for you. Let's get her booked on Brian Williams' show immediately.
Yeah, and Bernie Sanders is the biggest lightning rod just because he's the biggest person in the spotlight. It's so annoying. I think at this point, everybody watching this, everybody on Twitter, whenever an establishment neoliberal starts smearing Bernie again, accuse them of being anti-Semitic right away. Do the same thing that they do to us. Just do that right away.
Even if her name is Haberman. See, she's an anti-Semite.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's their toolkit.
Well, you can't ask Kamala Harris about why she didn't prosecute Steve Mnuchin because you're a sexist racist.
Yep.
You know that.
I don't know why you're being a Bernie bro right now, Jimmy.
Honest to God, it's so keep doing that, Maggie. Keep doing that, because that's the kind of stuff that helps Bernie Sanders. That's the kind of stuff that helps progressive. That's the kind of stuff they did to Jeremy Corbyn. What's happening with Jeremy Corbyn right now? That's the kind of stuff that helps, you dummy. You're such an empty soul. You're such an empty shell of a human being that you do it publicly. By the way, she didn't do this over lunch. She did that publicly. No shame. No nothing. I shudder to think if Maggie Haberman has kids, what kind of stuff she imparts to her kids. I shudder the whole thing. Anybody who comes in contact with a person like that. Come on. And by the way, she tried to backtrack. She tried. I'm not even showing you what she said. I will not give that dignity. I will not dignify her bullshit anymore. So that's great. Keep doing that. New York Times, Washington Post, MSNBC, CNN. Keep lying and smearing anybody who doesn't do corporate bidding. If you're not on board with the corporation, this is the kind of stuff you get. And by the way, I bet she got a raise for it. I bet she got booked immediately on TV because she did that. There is never a price to pay if you lie or do anything nefarious in aid of the establishment. So there you go, Maggie Haberman, New York Times, as Keith Olbermann used to say, today's worst person in the world. And you wonder why people get their news from YouTube. Hey everybody, we have 2 live Jimmy Dore shows in September. September 25th, we're in San Diego, and September 18th in Burbank, California. Get your tickets right there. There's a link right there.